What do you make of a Tank?
I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight.
Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical.
Devin Haney recently paid a visit to Lamont Roach's training camp ahead of his highly anticipated rematch with Gervonta Davis. Haney, who sparred with Roach in the past, expressed his support and respect for the fighter. Their interaction was more than casual. It showed genuine mutual respect as Roach prepares for one of the most important fights of his career.
Been unfinished business.
What do you make of the Tank versus Roach fight? Do you think it's a fight that Tank should have at this point of his career?
No comment.
What do you make of a Tank?
I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So I'm happy that he got the opportunity. And
Haney watched Roach's performance in the first Davis fight with quiet confidence. Having shared the amateur scene and training sessions with Roach, Haney knew exactly what he was capable of. When Roach dropped Davis to a knee in round 9, Haney was certain it should have been scored a knockdown. But referee Steve Willis ruled otherwise, allowing Davis to continue and eventually escape with a majority draw. Haney later told Ring Magazine, "I thought he won the fight."
And finally, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Gervonta Tank Davis situation. What was your assessment on his fight against Lamont Roach, and what are your thoughts on the knockdown that wasn't called in round 9?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight. But he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own 2 eyes, and yeah.
Yeah, you were you've made some comments. I wanted to see the backflip, and I'm surprised Tank didn't say nothing back to you about that.
Hey, I was just speaking my opinion on it.
Behind the scenes, sparring footage of Haney and Gervonta Davis resurfaced after Floyd Mayweather Jr. released clips from their earlier training sessions. The video made waves in the boxing world, clearly showing Davis landing clean shots on Haney, fueling ongoing comparisons between the two elite fighters.
Did you ever see him spar any of them?
Yeah.
What happened? Who he sparred?
Y'all know what happened, man.
I don't know.
He sparred Devin. It's packed, it's hot. They get in there. Tank hit that nigga. He hit him, boom. Then he hit him again, and he went out. I jumped in the ring because at the time Devin is 17. He calmed down, and they got back to working, Tank got a little bit more fatigue, and once they kept going, Devin got the best of him.
Oh, okay.
But in a real fight time with 8-ounce gloves on, bye.
In his usual straightforward style, Haney addressed the sparring debate by saying, everyone has their own version of what happened. He acknowledged that fighters often spin their own narratives, whether it's Davis highlighting his power or Haney pointing to his defensive brilliance. It's all part of the sport's storytelling.
It was so long ago that it doesn't even matter now because, we're grown men and we could, settle it in the ring.
All right, yeah.
It's where it really counts because, it's so many stories, so many different point of views. But I told my story, and now I'd rather just get it in under the lights.
I love that.
Our first fight, me and Ryan's first fight, we was I want to say 10 years old. So we've been fighting since we was young kids.
So did you ever build a friendship, or was it just always
Haney and Roach's bond goes beyond boxing. When Haney publicly criticized Ryan Garcia for PED use, calling him a cheater, Roach didn't hesitate to back him. Ryan is a cheater, Roach said, echoing Haney's stance, "Their unity speaks volumes. Two world-class athletes standing together for the integrity of the sport. It's not just loyalty, it's a shared commitment to fairness and principle."
I'm not too into the political side of whatever they got going on. I think Brian's a cheater. I speak out against that. That's dirty. I don't care about nothing else that's dirty in our sport. Our lives are at stake. Whatever actions he's taking up against him outside the ring, I don't got nothing to deal with. I don't got nothing to think about or talk about on his stance. That's his decision or whatever the case may be.
Recent footage from Roach's Brooklyn training camp paints a picture of a fighter in peak condition. Every round of sparring is high intensity, with precise footwork, tight defense, and lightning-sharp jabs. He's treating every session as if it's the fight itself. There's no room for complacency, only focus, grit, and a hunger to prove critics wrong after the controversial draw.
Yes, sir. Come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice. Come on. Give me that explosion. Rip. Good. There it is. There it is. Come on. 10 seconds. Breathe. Come on. Come on. Time. Yes, sir.
Roach's current strategy is centered on efficiency and power. He's not just throwing more punches, he's targeting smarter, hitting harder, and training with surgical precision. His camp seems laser-focused on addressing critiques that he lacked the finishing touch. Now, he's clearly preparing to leave no doubt and show he has what it takes to finish the job this time.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound-for-pound fighter, in which I believe that I am.
Roach's pedigree dates back to an elite amateur career.
He squared off with Gervonta Davis.
Accolades. At just 16, he faced Gervonta
gaining
Davis,
a rare glimpse into
gaining
elite-level
early
boxing
exposure to
that
top-tier
few
talent.
young amateurs experience. That early
shaped the
exposure
calm,
helped him build a
technical
foundation
fighter
of
he is today.
composure and respect
His
for the
journey from
craft.
promising
Since turning
amateur to
pro,
polished
he's leveraged
professional
that shaping
reveals a
experience,
strong
developing a
foundation
tightly
built
wound
on
blend of
skill,
technique, ring
poise,
IQ, and
the
resolve.
unshakable
With every
clear
pass,
he
Roach's
belongs
amateur
among
roots did
boxing's
more than
best.
teach fundamentals.
Roach is a hell of a contender, man. Roach had a very impressive amateur record, man. Boasting 125 wins and 15 losses. 2 of those losses coming by Tank, man. Also, when him and Tank fought, Roach was 15 and Tank was 16 at the time. 3 years later, 2013, Roach actually won his National Golden Glove Championship. And he was also USA Boxing Youth National Champ as well.
Hey, yo, we're gonna be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting Gervonta Davis in December, but you know we gotta check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, fourth person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life. So he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to an undefeated. There's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9, that's a journeyman. I'm not gonna lie. 4-2, 3-4, these are looking good. 8-5, that's a journeyman in the making.
Teofimo Lopez has openly questioned Gervonta Davis's resume, particularly the quality of his past opponents. He argues that Davis's knockout wins have come against boxers who weren't truly elite or tested, suggesting that his record may appear more dominant than it actually is. Lopez's critique adds more weight to the debate over whether Davis has faced enough top-tier talent to justify his star status.
So you think you dominate Tank?
I think I dominate any of them. If you really look at it,
if you gotta really tap in on this. Look at their resume, all that extra, whatever. There's a certain limit that you hit, right? But then there's that next criteria or that next top tier. And if you don't match that, you never gonna know how great you really are. And I've done that a few amount of times already. I jumped out that box and done that. So I have yet to see Gervonta come out of that box yet. You know what I'm saying? They're about to put him with a guy at 130 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again. You know what I'm saying?
Promoter Eddie Hearn has been a consistent advocate for Lamont Roach Jr., even when critics doubted his credibility as a legitimate challenger. In the build-up to the Davis rematch, Hearn didn't hesitate to highlight Roach's technical abilities and mental toughness. His support gave Roach the promotional boost and credibility he needed on such a massive stage. Despite holding a world title, Lamont Roach remains under the radar for many casual fans. His low-key public persona has led some to overlook his abilities, making him appear like an easy mark for Davis. But those who followed his career understand that Roach brings high-level technique, ring IQ, and a relentless work ethic. Being underestimated may actually work in his favor, giving him freedom to surprise and shine without the pressure of the spotlight.
This year or in boxing, there's obviously been a hurdle. Will he get through the second fight, Gervonta?
Maybe not. I mean, I think he's had a result, to be honest with you, because one, he should have lost the fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticise the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So, yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach is a good fighter.
Like I said, in boxing, at the end of the day, Lamont Roach is a world champion at the end of the day. Like I said, the whole thing about Lamont Roach is that he can fight, and you can't overlook anybody, especially not at the top level. Everybody knows he can fight. And Tank and Lamont Roach have been acquainted with each other since they were young fighters. And, just coming up in the game and knowing each other, the comfortability, that's still something that can threaten one another. But I feel like Tank will come out on top at the end of the day. But Lamont might give people, a tougher fight than he might.
Speaking on that, though, like you fought guys early in your amateur career, right? And then you fight them now. Do you already know what to expect, or is there somewhat of an evolution?
No, it's definitely an evolution. It's definitely change in people, but a lot of times, probably half the time, people's mentality stay the same. And their personalities don't always change. So you might be more comfortable with somebody, just growing up with them and knowing where they come from and knowing their background and stuff, versus just not knowing the fight at all.
Who wins that fight, Lane?
Tank. I got Tank.
How?
I don't know. I feel like Tank might break you down, work his way to a knockout, because Tank is great at break the fighters down, just punches his way into it, boxes his way into it.
As fight night approaches, Lamont Roach appears focused and confident. His recent training footage and interviews show a man who is fully prepared, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Roach isn't treating this like just another opportunity, he's treating it like his moment. His tone, his body language, and his words all reflect a fighter who believes the outcome will be different this time, and he's ready to prove it.